All right, here we go. We're live. Let's see if we have anyone who'd like to join in. Oh, looks like we just lost connectivity here. Let's try this again. No. It just dropped again. Let's see. Okay. All right, we're going to stay live, and maybe we might have some folks join in and want to do some Q&A, but maybe we'll just give you a quick update on some of the things that we planned on doing here, or some of the things that we've been doing these past few days. Hadn't gone fishing, been stuck at work and whatnot, but so far so good. Been able to at least break away here and there. We did start out tying some fishing flies that we hope to give out as some samples for folks that would like to try their hand at tying a near deer. It seems to be a pretty good fishing fly that's been working for us. We'll just hold on here, and maybe we might have someone join in and ask a question, maybe. If you'd like to ask a question about some of the things that we've been up to, you definitely join in the chat window. While we're waiting around, why don't we play around with maybe some things that we've been doing these past few weeks, or these last couple of weeks. We've been fishing Denison Dam with the switch rod. We started out with an 8-weight switch rod, got really lucky, and that had a gift card that we were able to pick one up at Cabelas and got it online for a real good deal. We've been able to change one of the lines that we had originally on a switch rod that we had picked up several years ago, and we shifted over to the reel and line setup from a 6-weight to an 8-weight. And 8-weight's the one that we picked up about 3 weeks ago or so. And I'm just throwing out ideas out there that maybe might perk someone's interest. Oh, extra syrup. Hi, can you hear me? There's a sort of a delayed response, but I'm seeing that we've got at least one person on. And from oh, excellent, you can hear. Okay, is there anything you'd like to ask us, maybe about some of the things that we've been doing these past few weeks with the fishing? We've been fishing Denison Dam a couple of times last weekend, this past weekend. Did okay, and then we tried some local fishing as well, and then definitely been fishing other places when we get a chance. This has been kind of tough this past few weeks here. And extra strip, glad that you were able to join. This is like our fourth time trying to get this live streaming working, and we had several where we lost connectivity and just couldn't maintain the live stream. But this time you're our first to ever do a two-way conversation on here, so that's excellent. By chance, do you have any particular questions on some of the fishing things that we do, or maybe you've got some comments or input that you have on some of the fishing that you've been doing? And again, it's sort of a delayed reaction getting things coming in, so we'll hold off for now. So well, maybe I'll just go right into some of the key topics we want to bring up this round, and if you have any questions, just certainly shoot a question in the chat window. So first things, just wanted to bring up Denison Dam. It's right up the road from us. We're here at the city of Allen here in Texas, just north of Dallas-Fort Worth. And we've been able to, or been fortunate enough to make a couple of runs up to Denison Dam, which is basically the dam that forms a reservoir for Lake Texoma. and we've really lucked out and been able to fish it these last couple of times, and did come away with a couple of keepers the first time, and then one keeper this last weekend. We fished it between generation schedules, so we lucked out when we looked at the hydropower generation schedule, and then we also looked at the real-time release schedule, and we could see that there was a pattern that they were kind of stopping in the evening and then not starting up generation until about 12:45 to 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon. So that gave a good solid morning to go fish, and that's kind of the key times we like going to Denison Dam and fishing those runs and pools. And in this case, we brought our switch rod, an 8-weight last week or 2 weeks ago, and then a 6-weight this last weekend. And what we've liked about having that capability is it can be cast one-handed as well as two-handed, and in the case of the 6-weight, much easier to cast one-handed. But when you really need to get some of that distance, we were able to use two hands and get the fly where we needed to. So that was a good thing, having that capability. And in both cases, we had lucked out by luck the first time, finding a run where there were some bait fish being washed downriver, and then the striped bass were keying in on those bait balls of shad. 2 weeks ago, it was by chance, just didn't see any movement, and then we kept seeing these blue heron and white egret kind of hanging out at this one particular run, and then every so often we'd see splashes in the water, and then they'd go and dive in the water or splash in the water chasing something, and then sure enough we'd see some striped bass hitting as well. For white bass in our area, Lake Lavon has been really good for us. In particular, about a month ago, we were getting some good action just off of Clear Lake Park, between the islands, as well as this one point just off of Clear Lake Park, and then Avalon. When they opened that up, I think it's open on Fridays, Saturday, Sunday, and what's good about Avalon is it's still fairly close to where they were boiling. Have been seeing some reports where folks are able to fish some of the windy points for white bass. We've gone to Brockdale earlier in the season, and we're able to do good there. But bottom line, you could probably hit up Little Ridge as well as basically any one of those windy points and be able to catch these white bass from the shore. We kind of like when we're fishing from the bank, we'll use a surf casting rod, and typically set up with a slab and jig rig, or those sabiki rigs that we like tying, and we're able to get some good distance with the surf casting rods that we use. Oh, and then have been hearing some good things about white bass up at Lake Texoma, so if you're able to make a run up there, apparently there's a lot more white bass in the main lake, and most of the striped bass are lower downriver. But from a white bass standpoint, Lake Lavon has been a pretty consistent producer for us. Have seen them at Lake Texoma. Just it's kind of weird because of the higher water. And then trying to remember now. There's a couple of places to hit later on when there's the white bass run or the spawn that's in the spring, as well as later when it gets colder, and you can see them on the Texas Fishing Forum, where folks are posting all kinds of reports on the white bass. So good question. I hope I answered it. Excellent. Yep. And I see your response, and yeah, do give it a shot. Yeah, we tend to fish the points and the more earlier in the season, and once it gets warmer, we'll go in our kayaks and start fishing there, just because it's much easier to try different places once you launch in the kayak, and then if you don't get anything, you get a good workout in with all the paddling that we'll do. Any other questions? All right, so this is sort of a test run for us. So far, we're liking that if we use the Ethernet cable instead of the wireless connectivity or wireless when we connect to our router, that that one seems to keep dropping. So I think going forward, we'll kind of play with this this way. Maybe I can talk about we're putting another iFish News news or edition out, probably out in the next week or so. Our last one, I believe we posted in latter part of August, and in there's some good information on some of the things that we've seen in this area. Let me see if I can bring up the website. All right. Bear with me real quick. This is just taking to the home page of iFish News, and I'm going to take us to, okay, August 25th was the last edition that we had put out, and in here we talk of current trends, some key areas like Possum Kingdom, Denison Dam, and then of course there's a one that we really like, in that we kind of pick up some new trends and things that are happening around our area. In this case, El Pollo Loco opened, and it's one of our favorite places to get chicken, and so we're really excited about that. Last time we were able to eat there was back in California, when I was stationed there in the service. And then made note that the lower Illinois River, they're still having a good run of or a good chance at rainbow trout there, so something to keep in mind. And then, of course, we have to put up on the bulletin board about a bluegill, a nice bluegill that we had picked up over there at the Eagle's Nest, aka pond behind In-N-Out Burger, and that's here in the city of Allen. So there's some good things to bring up there. Let's see, just taking a look and see if anyone's had any questions on the chat window. I don't see any. All right. So maybe I'll talk of some current trends from this iFish News that we had posted, and we made note about Lake Lavon, about white bass reports are starting to slow down, but they're still able to get a few. But it seems like more folks are focusing on the crappie, and it seems like working brush piles at the right depth seems to be the key. And what we'd say is use a fish finder. The other day we picked up a fish finder, the Hook 3X down scan imaging from Lawrence. Picked it up at Cabelas, and we were looking to replace one of the old hummingbird fish finders that we had purchased, I forgot when, but over 10 years ago, and they still had the pixels on it, and that down scan imaging made a big difference. In fact, it was one of the key reasons why we were getting into fish when we fished Amalon the first time out of our kayaks this year. We were able to work one of the shorelines near the park, and a lot of I guess no structure for most part, or for this one section that we fished. And then with that down scan imaging, we were able to find some key brush piles, as well as some, it looked like fish holding structure, and we were able to catch a few fish by bouncing the slab and jig rig that we were using just across that structure. If you do get a chance to take a look at it, just do a search on our YouTube channel, Avalon. Probably will work, and you'll see that we've been there, I think it's about 4 or 5 weeks ago, maybe 6, but that give you a good idea of how we were using that down scan imaging fish finder. Let's see, the Blue River, Oklahoma. That's one of our favorite places when it comes down to the trout stocking season up in Oklahoma, which will start up here in November. Really looking forward to that happening. But that said, it's not November yet, but there are reports of some spotted as well as smallmouth bass, and then of course the Oklahoma Department of Fish or Department of Wildlife Conservation has been stocking, I believe, weekly with some nice eater-sized catfish. So that's always a good bet if you want to run across the river or the Red River and head up just about a little under 2 hours, about an hour 45 minutes from the DFW area. For us, it takes about an hour 45 right out of here out of Allen, and makes a good time day trip to fish for a river, nice looking river with some catfish. And then when November rolls around, you'll definitely have a chance at some of these rainbow trout. And if you want to see some of the trips that we've taken up there and whatnot, just take a look at the I think there's a Blue River playlist that we have, or you can search the YouTube channel Blue River and you'll see it there. So that's one that we highly recommend if you want to give it a chance when the trout stocking season starts. And the good thing about Oklahoma and here being in North Texas is they start stocking November 1. We don't actually get our first stocking, at least here in the city of Allen, not until mid to late December. So you get a little jump on getting a chance at catching some trout. Also, you have some year-round fisheries, Lower Mountain Fork at Beavers Bend State Park up in Oklahoma. And then you have the Lower Illinois River. We haven't gone there yet, but really itching to go up by Gore, Oklahoma. That's another one that is a year-round fishery, and that's one that we definitely want to give it a shot come the colder months. Let's see, looking at Possum Kingdom, we fished it for the first time last year, actually earlier this year, when we found out that they had stocked some rainbow trout up there by the Highway 16 bridge, and we were able to luck into getting a limited trout there, and that was a fun time. But what we also noticed and have seen other folks post is the striped bass seem to be doing well in the river, and you get a good chance at catching them. I think lately the reports have kind of slowed down, and there's more reports coming back about white bass and bass being caught. But I suspect that there's still an opportunity for some striped bass in that river. So don't forget Possum Kingdom and the tail race, and work in that area below the tail race as well as down to the Highway 16 bridge and on. Heard some good things come out of there. Let's see, Denison Dam. When we posted the iFish News, we're still digging around for some reports on the striped bass action. Did get some onesie-twosie reports of folks hooking into some striped bass, and then did get a couple of IMs or text messages saying that they were getting a few over there, but really didn't get any good indication of the action there, and up until we started working the generation schedule and working between the generations and being able to work the runs and pools that we like for those striped bass. And this last week when we went, mainly small stripers, got them on initially a bead chain Clouser minnow, and then we switched over to a olive near deer, which if you had a olive woolly bugger, that probably would have been just as good, and we were able to hook them. And then we switched over to another near deer. We call it the red, white, and blue near deer. But basically it's a jig style fly. About a size 10 hook is what we were using, and pretty much just casting upstream, mending the line, let the fly drift downriver into one of the or right before, or right near the rocks before it started forming a little rapid area, and we would pretty much catch a steady action of some small stripers, maybe 12-inch, 10, 12-inch in size, pretty much all day. We did get or all morning, and then we also did get some of these long ear sunfish that were hitting on the fly as well. And then what was cool was ending the trip with that one keeper size striped bass. Measured them out, came out to 22 inches, and I believe the week before it was about 22 inches as well, but we had two of them, and one was a lot chubbier than the other. But bottom line, when you're seeing those bait ball shad go through the run and start heading further down river, that seems to trigger the bite when the striped bass start hitting on these guys. And then definitely believe right when they start generating, there's a small window of opportunity to hook up with them as they're feeding on the surface. Other than that, I'd probably switch over to bait, maybe go a little bit further down river and try catching them in that manner. So that was Denison Dam. Some of the community lakes and ponds. Our big thing when we put out the August 25th iFish News was we had fished that pond behind In-N-Out Burger, Eagle's Nest, and hadn't fished it in a while. Noticed a lot of activity there as it got darker, and we were able to hook into a nice sized bluegill, probably about 10-inch maybe, and got him on a fly rod, and just able to get a couple of pictures and post them on the bulletin board that we keep for some of the different fish that we've caught over the years. Let's see, trend-wise, in the iFish News, we put in a couple of videos, Possum Kingdom, the Denison Dam piece, and then, of course, El Pollo Loco, very tasty meal that you can get right out of the or here locally at the in the city of Allen. And again, there's the bluegill, nice sized bluegill that we caught. And then a series of videos here. Actually, this is about a 30-minute video of this one fisherman working a fly, or working a fishing fly, or fly fishing over there in the lower Illinois River over there in Oklahoma. And it looked like it was a fun time to be catching some fish there. So again, we haven't fished there, but we definitely want to go there. And we definitely been keeping a close eye on some of the reports that are coming out of there. And of course, we've got our running feed on field reports that have been coming in so far. Things are kind of slow right now with the reports, but we'll definitely keep an eye and keep posting, and we'll keep the feed up to date as much as we can based on the information that's coming in. Alrighty, so that's pretty much the August 25th, 2016 iFish News. We call it Fishing News of Interest from the field team, and we mainly just want to get some information out for those folks that may be fishing in the area as well, specifically the North Texas, Dallas, Fort Worth area, that may give some folks an idea of where to go and what's biting out there. We are working on the next iFish News, and as soon as it's done, we'll get it posted. We do have several ways that we stay in touch with folks. Let's see, do you ever try fly fishing at Broken Bow, Oklahoma? Yes, we do. In fact, we've got several videos on there. If you go to the YouTube channel, our YouTube channel, this one, do a search on Lower Mountain Fork or Beaver's Bend, and I believe there's a playlist in there that's also in our YouTube channel. One in particular, I believe it was last year. Yes, last year around the August time frame, September time frame, we made a run up there. It was right after it flooded, and things had kind of settled out finally. The evening hole area was completely different from what we were used to in the past. But luckily we found a nice deep hole, and we're able to luck into some nice looking rainbow trout. We got 2 20-inch trout last year out of the same hole 1 week apart. And if you want to get a good idea where it is, maybe I can point you in the right direction. It's on our YouTube channel. There should be right there. We go. Lower Mountain Fork River. And I think there's 6 videos here, and it covers a course of, I believe, about 2-3 years from when we first went there, and then also some cool videos of one from one of the guides that fishes there, and gives some really good ideas of how they fish the area. But yes, we've gone there, and we do have some video if you want to take a look at it. Did anyone else have any other questions? The Discriminator is a great fly out there. Excellent. Okay. Haven't used the Discriminator. Not sure, but we tend to use several flies up there. The Near Deer in a tandem setup with an egg pattern. There was one year where the Rainbow Warrior was the key. So we'll keep that in mind with the Discriminator. I'll have to look that one up. Okay, I'll check that out on the Orbis website. I'm going to take some notes here. Thanks for the heads up. By chance, have you been able to go there this year? I heard this last flood has changed things again. I see the answer coming in. 3 weeks ago, evening hole was about 2 feet. Oh, bummer, 2 feet deep only. And zone 3 had no fish, and the power plant was generating. Yeah, I heard that when they generate, it's pretty tough. Spillway Creek, okay. Yeah, I've heard something similar. Spillway Creek, and then closer up to the dam seems to be a go-to place to go. Then I also noticed that the fly shop got washed away, but I saw one report where it looked like they were open, but they were using I guess a trailer. So it looks like we could still go up there and pick up some fishing flies if need be. There's a couple of patterns that they have that I've not been able to get anywhere else, and I don't tie as much. All right. Thanks again for your questions and your comments. We'll see if we can wrap this up. Thanks again, everyone, and take care, and good luck and good fishing.